Today, as I was thinking about the power of our thoughts, the drawing power of our thoughts, because thoughts are things, right? Thoughts are things that can manifest in this physical world. That's the way we need to think about our thoughts. Thoughts are things. And if we continue to be conscious about this, we'll be more careful about what we're thinking. We'll improve the quality of our thoughts. And so today I was thinking about, meditating on wandering thoughts. How many times have you, because of a wandering thought, you ended up in a certain situation or circumstance that you probably would not have been in, but you were bored and you just, you had this wandering thought, this idea, and you just ended up in this situation, or you ended up connecting to people that you ended up being with for a very long time. And it was because of a wandering thought. And so I think this is why it's so important that, as believers, God is a priority and we acknowledge Him in all things that we do. I acknowledge God, but the people that are not doing this, because of a wandering thought, you can end up in a relationship that's really not good for you, in a relationship that you wouldn't otherwise be in, but because of a wandering thought. And so we have to be very strategic. We need to be very strategic about who we're with and what we're thinking about when you're considering, just being at the right place at the right time and fulfilling the assignment that we have on our lives. And so I was like, yes, I want to be more strategic about that. I want to be, you want to put more thought. You don't want to be in a relationship because you just had a wandering thought or just an idea pop in your head. You want to be on point. You want to be in the will of God for your life, and you want to make quality decisions about who you're with. So that thought came to me today. And so, when you think about how thoughts are things, thoughts are things. It's just the stuff begins in our head and you can't feel it. But thoughts create things. Thoughts are things. That is so powerful. I think that is so very powerful. Thoughts are things. And so most people, they're not conscious about what they're thinking. We're not conscious about what we're thinking. I'm observing myself and I'm like, wow, that is so deep, And it's interesting, you're not conscious about what you're thinking, but nevertheless, what you think have great impact on how you feel. The emotions that you are experiencing, what you think from moment to moment has an effect on how you're feeling throughout your day. For the most part, your thoughts directly control how you are feeling. Yes, from moment to moment. And that's regardless whether you're conscious about it or not. And so I think it would be advantageous if we could just be in better control of what we're thinking. And we could make ourselves feel good. You know what I'm saying? Because I really believe because we're not conscious, you're like, I'm having a rough day. And you're not thinking it's because of your thought. You're not thinking it's because of, what you're saying to yourself. And so we need to really identify, these feelings and whether or not what we're feeling is true, whether or not the thoughts that we're having is it valid. So in controlling and managing our thoughts, first you want to be able to stop a thought, interrupt a thought. And yes, I recall my pastor talking about this. Occasionally, you can interrupt a thought by speaking verbally, right? And so it wasn't in light of I remember him talking about this a whole lot, but I don't think it was in light of, I guess he was talking about, yes, if the enemy, puts a negative thought in your mind. Yes, but I think, we're taking this further when we think about the law of attraction and creating our lives and manifesting what we want rather than what we do not want. So he wasn't talking about manifesting. We were just talking about the enemy, how he puts these different thoughts in your mind. And nevertheless, you get the same results. So yes, you can stop a thought by interrupting that thought with a verbal response. And secondly, to get in control of what we're thinking, we need to begin to identify exactly the negative thought. If you have a negative thought, that negative thought, what are you thinking? That's the next step. That is so important. Identify the negative thought. So we just need to keep in mind that every